Truly Sociology with Dr. Reena Bharti.
You know, when you think of Mahatma Gandhi, your mind probably goes straight to peace, right? But what if I told you that behind that symbol was an absolutely razor-sharp blueprint for winning against impossible odds? Well, today we're going to unlock that very strategy. Let's just dive right in with this. I'm sure you've heard this famous little fragment of a quote before. Then you win. I mean, that's the ultimate payoff, isn't it? But what comes before that? What does it actually take to get to that final winning stage? Well, the architect of this whole powerful idea was, of course, Mahatma Gandhi. But the thing is, he wasn't just some inspirational figure. No, he was the strategist, the mastermind behind a nation's independence. His wisdom gives us a clear roadmap for change. And to really get it, we first have to understand the man himself. So to really get his blueprint, you gotta know the man. He was born way back on October 2nd, 1869. In India, he's known affectionately as Bapu, which actually means father. And for good reason. He's revered as the father of the nation because of his incredible leadership in India's long, hard fight for independence. So how in the world did he do it? How did he engineer one of the most significant political shifts of the entire 20th century? Well, his blueprint starts with part one, the foundation. And this, for Gandhi, is the absolute bedrock. It's where all real, lasting change has to begin. Okay, so this brings up a huge question, right? If you really want to reshape the world, where do you even start? Do you start with politics, with protests, maybe the economy? Gandhi's answer, man, it was something else entirely. Totally radical and all about the long game. And his answer was, well, it was pretty profound. He believed that real, sustainable peace doesn't start in the halls of power or on some battlefield. Nope, it starts in the minds of the next generation. For Gandhi, the ultimate revolution, it begins with the kids. But hold on, when he said education, he didn't just mean school. Not even close. For him, it was an all-round drawing out of the best in the child and man, body, mind, and spirit. See? This wasn't about cramming for tests. It was about cultivating a complete human being. And that holistic development, that's how you build resilience. It forges this unshakable inner core, a moral clarity that gets a person ready for the struggles that are bound to come. And that leads us right into part two of the blueprint, the instrument. So you've got this foundation of holistic education. Now what? How do you translate that into a force that can actually influence the masses? And here's the critical link. That deep, all-around education forges the one single tool that Gandhi believed was powerful enough to move millions of people toward a shared goal. And I'll bet it's not what you're thinking. This is it, the core of the whole idea. The instrument of change isn't money, it's not force, it's not even charisma. For Gandhi, the only thing that has a real, lasting effect on the masses is character. But why? Well, think about it. True character. You know, integrity, morality, inner strength, it builds authentic trust. It's a quality people can see and feel, and it creates a kind of loyalty that power can't command and fancy speeches can't fake. All right, so let's recap. We've laid the foundation with education, we forged the instrument, which is character. Now we get to the most famous part of the blueprint, part three, the process. And this is the gauntlet that Gandhi said every single major movement has to endure. See, Gandhi understood that when a movement built on character challenges the status quo, the opposition you face isn't random. Not at all. It's a predictable, four-stage struggle that you absolutely must be prepared to walk through. And this is that full roadmap we hinted at in the beginning. Step 1, your ideas are dismissed as irrelevant. First, they ignore you. Step 2, your efforts are ridiculed and treated like a joke. Then they laugh at you. Step 3, the opposition finally sees you as a real threat, and they retaliate. Then they fight you. And only after you've endured all of that do you get to that final stage. Then you win. So the crucial takeaway here is that this was never just some inspirational slogan for a coffee mug. It's a strategic roadmap. It all connects. A solid foundation of education builds character, and that character gives a movement the moral strength and the resilience it needs to endure being ignored, laughed at, and fought, until victory becomes inevitable. I mean, Gandhi used this very blueprint to help win a nation's freedom. It really makes you look at the world differently, doesn't it? Which leaves us with a final question to think about. As you look at the major struggles happening today, which ones are being ignored or laughed at or fought against, just waiting for their final stage?
Thank you for watching.